As Jesus and the disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he taught, but Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, "Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me." But the Lord said to her, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her." When I read this story, I realized that I often forget the beauty and the gift of stillness. Sometimes the familiarity of a busy life and mind can feel more right or more comfortable, but he calls us to be still. When we get past the uncomfortableness of silence and having nothing to do, it's in those moments that he can really speak to us and teach us. Izzy will share more on what this process might look like for Martha.
Hello everybody, my name is Izzy and I want to talk about the action of release. When Martha saw Jesus, her instinct was to keep serving and focus on her task, while her sister Mary sat at his feet and listened. Hebrews 12:1 tells us to throw off everything that hinders. Releasing isn't losing, it's making space for him and moving closer to what truly matters. Jesus wasn't saying serving is wrong, he was showing that being with him comes first. Jesus calls us to excellence, but also lay everything at his feet and surrender. Even though worldly possessions and titles pull our attention, we must prioritize him first. As Matthew 6:3 says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." As the great Mr. Shelbrooke said, we can't focus our eyes on him when our gaze is being pulled away. The disciples left everything to follow him. So today, release the pressure, the distractions, and the need to sit. The need to prove yourself. Choose what is better. Choose to sit at his feet. When we learn to be with him first, everything else falls into place. Thank you.
Our final point is about the beauty of sitting at his feet with nothing but adoration, just like Mary did, and why it is so important to do so. We live in a culture that promotes busyness. If we aren't preparing, doing, or achieving, we're behind. In Psalm 27:4, David says, "One thing I ask of the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple." David exudes a heart posture of simply wanting to seek more of the Lord and to just adore him. He didn't ask to accomplish more, but he instead yearned to dwell in and to gaze upon the Lord. When we sit at his feet with ears wide open and hearts soft, we are able to dive deep into all that he wants to teach us, and we can dwell in the love that he has for us. We must choose relationship over religion. Religion says work harder to please God, while relationship says, let me just draw near to the Lord. In John 15:4, Jesus says, "Abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me." In this verse, we see that as hard as we try to work for him, if we are not abiding in him, we cannot bear fruit or fulfill who he wants us to be. We must come into alignment with the Lord. And how can we do that if we do not learn from him and lean into him first? There is such a beauty in just stepping into the quiet place with him. We learn to hear his voice, to know his heart, and then we can truly receive what he has for us and become overflowing vessels to exalt his name on earth. And the best part is, we get the sweetest relationship with the most loving and wonderful creator. In our dance, me, Maddie, Callie, and Mavis all represent Martha. Addie is representing Jesus, and Izzy is representing Mary. While in the Bible, Martha does not technically release her work, we will be portraying what it is like to leave behind striving for a true intimacy with Christ. Our cloths represent our work, which we try to use to honor the Lord, but we learn that sitting at his feet is something that cannot be replaced. Thank you.